What's going on, good people? Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverson here, hoping that you guys can hear me okay. Let's see if I can get the background music drop down just a little bit. Those of you that are popping on live and catching this live, thank you so much. If you would please go ahead and hashtag and post live so I will be able to tell that one, I'm able to be heard, and two, that you guys are actually in the room. Greatly appreciate that. Just drop down below, hashtag live. Go ahead and also be coachable, teachable, and trainable. Come on into the room and post your city and state where you are actually catching this live from on today. So today, day 11 of the Dollar Deals membership. We are going to keep this information live on today. If you guys have missed any of the membership content because you are not plugged in to the Dollar Deals membership, then you are available to go over to dollardeals.martinabrittyoverton.com, opt in and jump in with us. It is a course that is created that you can go at your own pace, so you are not missing anything by hopping in on day 11. You are available to go back, look at all of the content, get all of the checklists, get all of the downloadables, and catch the content and get caught up with us. It's not a big deal that you are jumping in this late. I do appreciate you guys jumping in live. So if you are chiming in live and you have not had the opportunity to, I believe it allows you to say, you allow yourself to be shown on StreamYard if you're chiming in inside of a group, or if you've never joined us on StreamYard before and you've never given permission for Facebook to show your name or to show your face, then you need to actually pop out, give it permission, and pop back in, or something like that, so I can see you. So hey y'all, hey, thank you for chiming in from Raleigh. Thank you so much, Facebook user, because it's not showing me your name or your face yet. But to go ahead and get myself introduced so I can jump right into this content for you on today. My name again is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I am your Brandmaster, your cash flow queen, and founder of the #1 legal tax hack to hire your kids in your home-based business. My daily goal is to brand you, educate you, and to help you get your assets in order so that you can leave a legacy, or better yet, so that you can live one. I typically stream anytime I feel like it or anytime I find a hole in my schedule so that I can meet my consistent need to get this content out of and to you on as regularly and as a consistent basis as possible. I help struggling startups and entrepreneurs as well as savvy seniors to do what? Develop a simplified brand so they can get back to catching their coins, so they can actually walk in their purpose and their passion and in their gifting. My goal is for them to develop a simplified brand, to make this, crazy world of technology and ease. And I like to make it so simplified that any age can do it. But I've noticed that my savvy seniors are struggling, so I'm trying to help them out. All right, so today we're going to cover your numbers. Now, if you have no earthly idea what that means, no relation to this gentleman. However, I am going to go ahead and read this quote to you guys. Bill Britt has a quote that says, "There is no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,200 people. 900 said no, and only 300 signed up. Out of the 300, only 85 did anything at all. And out of the 85, only 35 were serious. And out of the 35, 11 made him a millionaire." So guys, if you know your numbers and you have a goal or a plan of action set in place, the only way you will meet that goal is if you know your numbers, because numbers don't lie. All right, they reveal the truth about what a person is actually doing with his or her days, what is working, what is not working, right? And most network marketing coaches, historically, they know what does work and what will work or what has worked, and they want to help you figure out that plan of action for yourself. They know the specific business plans around what has been working, and they like to help you understand that. So this is not specifically for the network marketing industry. This is for anyone who has a goal that they are trying to get met. The only way you're going to meet the goal is if you know the number. So I'm going to open up a worksheet on today. And if you do not have the Dollar Deals the Dollar Deals membership, and you don't have access to the downloadable checklist, I don't know why you don't. Go ahead and go to dollardeals.martinabrittyoverton.com and get access. In the meantime, grab a sheet of paper. Grab a sheet of paper and get ready to take these notes, because the information I'm covering today is crucially important. So just to give you a little bit of back history before we jump over into all of that, as you saw here on the Dollar Deals menu screen, you will be able to see when you go over to that membership everything that is covered. Okay, specifically, we are into day 11. So this is what was covered over the first 10 days. This is what everyone inside of the membership already has access to. Some of you guys have been pretty diligent in logging in, and a couple of you have already turned in your homework and you are awaiting additional assistance. If you ended up stuck and you needed a little bit of help getting past the Power Bio, being able to move into your mission, goals, and visions, you were able to print that out, go through the process, do the extra homework assignment that was in there, and submit your 5 W's to try and figure out how to create your Power Bio. Okay. Beyond that, we are moving into the tier 2, which is the know your numbers. Today, we're discussing know your numbers. So see what I mean by you've had 10 days, you're not behind. This is self-paced. You can get caught up. Okay. So specifically with the sheet of paper that you have pulled out, in order to track your profits, you need to know the answers to the following. So if you have no idea who you are talking to, then this is a time to go back and figure out who it is that you're talking to based on who you consistently hear complaints and pain points or painful situations or painful conversations, to understand who it is that you are talking to, right? In order to know your numbers, you need to know who it is that you're talking to, what their pain points are, and then you need to correlate that over to what service you have that actually will provide a solution. Okay. When you do that, then you will be able to, i.e., meet their need. Okay. Because your solution is the answer that they are looking for. So the next thing is you need to know how many people per day you need to contact. Right? So that's where you're going to enter that number and who they are. How many people do you need to follow up with daily and who they are? How much in retail sales? And I'm just going to say how much in profits. We're going to change that because I don't want you guys to think this is specifically network marketing. This is business basics, business 101 strategy. How much money are you trying to make, right? To accomplish your monthly goal, your weekly goal, your daily goal, okay? How many people do I need to, and it says personally sponsor, but let's say personally, convert to a customer, period, right? We're going to change that terminology because I don't want you guys to think this is just about MLM, network marketing, affiliate marketing, any of that. This is about you catching your coins. How much money do you need to make? And as Grant Cardone says, who's got your money, right? Okay. How much money do you need to make on a daily, weekly, monthly time frame? So how many people do you need to personally convert to a customer? And I say personally convert because you may be meeting prospects and talking to people all day, but did you actually convert them over to someone who was able to generate you some type of profits? Okay. So here is the breakdown. And as you see, I left some body of work because I have some good that I need to add on here. And I will get that added on here before this becomes the fillable and the printable that you guys can use. So initially, these are the first 5 questions that you need to have jotted down. Who are you talking to? How many people do you need to contact and who are they? How many people do you need to follow up with daily and who are they? How much in profits do you need to accomplish this month to reach your goals? And how many people do you need to convert to a customer? Okay, so those are the 5 things you're going to write down: your monthly income and your weekly income goal. Okay, you're going to jot that down. Now, you're probably thinking a roundabout number in your head. You're probably saying, hey, I just want to be able to cover all of my bills. And you have a roundabout number in your head. Okay, let me help you break down that roundabout number to ensure that you actually have enough, right? Because there could be some, hidden gems, hidden expenses, or etc. that you could be missing because you don't know your number. So one of the things that I do as an exercise is I have my clients who are on any type of financial track is I have them write down on a simple sheet of paper every single solitary bill they can think of. And most times you will miss a few. Why? Because you're going off the top of the dome. You're not actually looking at your bank statement or any of your receipts or any of your online transactions. You're not looking in your Herdla app and scrolling through to see how many expenses you have actually swiped that card for or how many expenses you have on auto draft. Write those numbers down, from the roof over your head, which I call a housing investment, to the haphazard bottle of water that you may purchase. Write every single expense down, because when you come to the end result of all those expenses, now you need to go and look at your income, right? And there was one sheet of paper that I did not pull out because I have no problem with transparency, with limited transparency, and showing you all of my good. And so what I'm going to do, and I actually wrote all mine down. I'm not about to show y'all all my business, but I'm going to be as transparent as I possibly can. So literally, when I did this for myself, let's switch our view here. And I utilize my project planning sheet, which you guys will learn more about. Let's go with this view, which you guys will learn more about on around day 21 through 23. You'll learn more about that. And I practice what I preach. I literally start accounting every single bill, right? And as you see, the bills continue over here and down here at the bottom. I try and tabulate what that total expenses was with all the incomes and some of the extracurricular incomes and how those come, so you can actually see your numbers. A lot of you are trying to figure out, where in the world is my money? You didn't write it down. Once you write it down and you see it, once you pull out the bank statement, once you open up the online transactions, once you look at the PayPal expenses, the Cash App expenses, the personal debit expenses, the credit card expenses, once you look at each and every single expense and you write it all down, now you know where your money is, right? And that's if you're operating digitally. So if you happen to just be operating on cash, good luck with all those receipts. Okay. This is the reason why you want to use an app such as Hurdler so that it can make sure it captures every single transaction so that you actually know your numbers. Okay. Again, the numbers don't lie. We'll talk about why tracking the numbers is so important again in a moment. But I have you doing that specifically so that you can see it before you and so that you can understand each and every amount. Okay. So back to your worksheet. And the reason you're probably going, well, I don't 100% know what all of those numbers are, so I can't roundabout come up with, an exact number. Sounds like a personal problem. Sounds like you're going to continue to maybe operate a little haphazardly, and then you're going to wonder, how in the world can I get to my goal? Well, let's go back to day 1 through 3, where we set those goals and we figured out what our value is, and we figured out what price points we need to charge, and we know how much money we're bringing in, and we know how much money we want to bring in. My question is, have you set the intention of why you want to bring X amount of money in? Because it has to be over and beyond your expenses. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's jump right into, now that you've written all these numbers down, and let's say all your expenses add up to, we're going to use crazy number, just work with me. All your numbers add up to 3,000. Okay. And then you go and you look at all of your income, your right now income, your job's income, any additional income you have coming in. If we talking about welfare income, SSI benefits, hustle, under the table, you look at all your money, and all your money adds up to 2,500. That's why you are broke, right? Even though you're getting by every month. Well, guess what that every month getting by is called? A blessing. Okay. It's called grace. And in some cases, it's called luck. We don't want to just operate in luck. We want to be able to see the numbers and know and be able to forecast and project ahead of time. Oh my goodness, this particular amount of money may be gone due to, I'm a teacher, and in the summertime, I missed 2 months of income. So I need to figure out how to spread my 10-month income over my 12-month, right? My 10-month expenses over my 12-month income. All right. We want to be able to project when money drops off, but the expenses continue, how to cover that. Another reason to know your numbers. Okay. So if you know that your next rank, we'll use that terminology, you want to achieve is, or if you know currently, my job's income is $2,000 a month, and I want to double that in the next 1 year. So if my next raise is only going to be $500, it sounds like I'm going to have to pick up, some additional gifts and talents that will generate me an additional $500 in income. If I know I'm working a job that's paying me $2,000, and I have figured out how I can get a raise for an extra $500, but my goal is $3,000, that means you're going to have to go find some piece of value content, side hustle, home-based business, something to generate that extra $500, because you said your goal was $500. All right. So if your next whatever you want to achieve is this amount, and you want to accomplish that before the year's end, okay, in order to do that, you're going to have to do what? Again, reverse engineer the process. So I know that's the first time you're hearing me saying this on this. However, that is terminology that you must know. This is why we are currently in the month of May. Today is May the 11th. Now, if you pull up your good old handy dandy Google Calendar that I use all of the time, let me pull that onto the screen here. And today is the 11th, and the end of the year is X amount of months away. What you would need to say is, here by the 31st of 2022, I have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. Okay, that will bring us here to 15, 7.5 months to get to the end of the year. What needs to happen for the next 15, 16, 17, 18? What needs to happen for the next 18 days? Then what needs to happen in this 30 days? Then what needs to happen in this 30 days? Then what needs to happen in this 30 days? literally to end up on December 31st with an overall year of options to meet your goal. You want to start at the end of the year and be able to say, hey, in order for me to meet this goal, I need to have done this, this, and this by this date. So when you arrive at, let's back up here to, let's go with June the 1st. When I arrive at June the 1st, because I have calculated how many sales or how much overtime or how much a hustle or whatever you're doing, you need to have done in the next 18 days, you've already backed it up. My neighbors, my window's up. It's a beautiful day. Please forgive that. I might have to put my window down. If you calculated the last 18 days of the month down to the day, divided by whatever your goal is, and you know by the next 18 days, I need to have brought in this amount of money, and you're ahead, yay. If you're behind, then that means you need to increase your efforts. This will help you determine whether or not you're going to meet your goal by knowing your numbers and backtracking it and reverse engineering. I hope that makes sense, okay? So let me show you another way that you can get that done. Now, I don't have this one pulled up on the screen, so I'm going to give you this via a sheet, and I will make sure the sheet that I'm reading from, it comes from Julian Gordon's, and we actually discussed his whole mastermind plan on day 27. We actually discussed his whole entire juge on the 27th, okay? So I am reading from one of the pages from his entrepreneur year plan and his masterminds option on page 1 of the profit pipeline. All right. So you guys have to look at your own gifts and talents. And we've gone through that and be able to price point, what your ultimate goal is. And also we've gone through, if you've been doing your homework assignments correctly, you've gone over to Why You're Broke, and you've been able to watch that video and pull up that spreadsheet and figure out your value. Okay. He talks about a profit pipeline. And the way he breaks down, if someone is interested in making $100,000 and they're looking to do this through social media, the directions are to declare your offerings, quantity sold, and price to get your annual profits. So we've done that actually. We've gone through figuring out what our value is. Those would be your offerings. Now we're going to say what amount needs to be sold or shared. Proverbs 11 and 26, what amount needs to be sold, shared, given, right? So that you can collect your coins, which is your annual profits. So I just worked that out for you, in the word, how you can do that. Through engagement, dropping it into the funnel, draw a funnel on this sheet of paper. All right. And we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 or 9 rows. All right. So when you draw this funnel, that should be the depth of about 8 or 9 rows, I want you to look at the first line saying engagement on social media. And I'm just going to say social media because you may be a Facebook person, someone else may be a YouTube person, someone else could be a LinkedIn or Twitter or an IG person. Engagement on social media. If the number is 2,000 followers or friends, all right, and you're not charging anything, there's no revenue. You're just continuing to drop people into the funnel. That means engaging with people. That means making sure they know who you are, what your value is, and that they enjoy your personality so they continue to follow you. All right. If you're going to hold a monthly webinar and you're not going to charge anything, that is an option to offer a first tier introductory webinar about whatever your value is, whatever it is that you have that you are giving away for free to pique people in interest. More than likely only count about 10% of that number. And don't quote me on me having these averages right. All right. About 200 people. Remember, no money. All right. So now out of those 200 people, you actually have a book, an ebook that you're selling for about $15. If 100 of those 2,000 people bought that ebook That's $1,500 that you just made towards your goal of $100,000. Again, know your numbers. If this is per year, how often do you want to make sure that people know about that ebook so that they can submit their $15 so that you can make your $1,500 every 100 people? You're always increasing that number of 2,000, but your goal is to ensure every week, every month, however you're doing this, that you make at least 100 contacts that will make a $1,500 profit for you for that $15 ebook. Next here, a Pick My Brain coaching hour, he suggests. Coaching hour. Now, this is what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to say coaching group call. Why? Because you may not have the individual that's asking you to make questions may not have a whole hour of questions. You may end up off one call on another call, but if you do it in a group session, then there's engagement and there's synergy in the group where more than one people, but you only have an hour, right? And you have 60 or so people paying to get into that group. Now you can, fumble the numbers however you need to, but if the price for that time is $100, and again, you have 60 people, you're looking at $6,000. So you take that $6,000 and you add it to the $1,500, you're now at $7,500 towards your goal of $100,000. On the next line, you do a live event. Now, this is whether or not you choose to do a live event, virtual live event or physical live event. About the same value, about the same content, and honestly, here's a hack, working through your ebook. So you already have a template. Now, if you do this conference and you do this live event and you have 30 people that show up for a $250 priced item, mind you, at that point, you're giving them the ebook because the ebook is the order of operations for that live event. 30 people paying $250, there's another $7,500. So now you're at $15,000 just like that. Again, from the start of the 2,000 people that you're engaging with across social media. Let's move a little further into a coaching program. So now the individuals have shown up for the coaching program live. They have shown up for the live event. I'm going to kill my child. And we're back. Okay. So the live event that you're going to have online, you're going to take the people who attended that live event, and now you're going to have a private coaching session with maybe 20 of them. Now, it could be 20 that came from the live event. It could be 20 from the original 2000. Regardless, you're going to have a coaching program that now you work through more in depth through the ebook or another product that you could possibly have. And that is a $2,000 price point. $40,000 is the money from that on top of the other 15. You're up to 55 now. I'm adding off the top of my head. Work with me. All right. Now, finally, you choose to go and do speaking events. Now, let me help you understand speaking events and speaking engagement. There needs to be a standard that you charge to physically come out and do a speaking engagement. Bring copies of that ebook with you. Give those away, or have whoever is bringing you in to speak purchase X amount of those ebooks. This also helps add up to whatever your $2,000 is. So sometimes you'll say, hey, I'll come out and I'll speak. My speaking fee is $2,000 in this example. And they say, well, that's a little bit above our budget. Not a problem. I do have a workaround. I have an ebook. And if you have at least 100 attendees, then you're able to purchase the ebook. That's $1,500. I will bring the 100 ebooks with me. I'll have them available, and I'll have a few extra to sell. If you will allow me to continue to sell the extra, we can call that coverage for the speaker engagement fee. Got it? There are ways to work around that. Book yourself on 10 events. That's $20,000 or more, depending on how you work out the deal. On top of the other 55, you're at 75,000. You're almost all the way home to 100,000, which was your goal. And then finally, consulting clients on a regular and continuous basis. You do that for about $5,000 over the course of a year, and you consult with 5 key clients to get them to whatever the end result goal is. Based on the results that you have inside of that ebook, you're across the line at $100,000, i.e., the reason you need to know your numbers. Okay? So, in order for you to meet that projection, you need to know your numbers first. You need to know, again, when we look at this, how many people you're looking to speak to per day. Because again, in order to hit your monthly income goal of whatever that is, you must produce at least whatever that amount is during the course of a week, which will earn you X amount by your goal date. All right. And the best way to do this, again, is to reverse engineer by looking at a calendar. If you're looking at a calendar, and right now, I think what we stated a moment ago was still 7.5 months to make $100,000. Go back to your initial worksheets and look and see, what is my core value? What is it that I need to do to get this product, this service, this niche out in the public? How many people do I need to continuously make contact with to be able to meet the end result? The only way that you will meet it is if you know your numbers. As I started out saying, now that you do know your numbers, once you finish this exercise and you have clarity as to what it is that you need to know and when and what to do it, now you want to consider things like the autoresponders that we talked about to continue an engagement after the initial contact. Then you can continue to work on additional training that you may need. But the bottom line is, I hope that I've given you some insight to what it is that you need to know and where it is that you need to place your focus when it comes to building your business so you can get to your expected end. Okay? So the last thing I'm going to show you here in my last 2 minutes is what I utilize from a coach, Dr. Cheryl Wood, and I carry this with me almost every day. Now, when we're just out running errands, I generally don't have it with me, but when I'm at the satellite office, when I'm at events, when I'm on in-person coaching or training, whenever I go anywhere, I have this before me, and I even have it saved in my phone so that I can look at it, speak on it, and project it out there every single day so that I can end up at my projected end. Now, this does say monthly. Don't let it scare you. Right? It does say monthly. If my projections here on the left-hand side for whatever my product or service is, whatever my value is that I have deemed for X amount of time, the price point that I have put on it lets me know the quantity that I know needs to be sold per month will give me the projection that I have here. And then what is actually made here will end with the difference. So if you have a projected goal of a $3,000 product, and in order for you to meet the goal for that to be $12,000, you only need to sell 3. All right. If you have a course that is a $500 course and the projected goal is to do 10, you only need to sell 20. The same with books that you may have. Books generally run around $20 plus shipping and handling. If you're trying to meet a goal for a book to be sold and you're trying to have $2,000 of income, then that means you need 100 books sold each and every month. All right. The same with speaking engagements. Again, go ahead and have in mind your flat standard based speaking engagement and know that you can bring your ebook into play if they will not honor your speaking fee. Then go ahead and supply the audience that's in attendance with a bare minimum that are for their first 100 registrants, even though they may have 250 registrants. I will cover, 15 ebooks for your first 150 registrants. That will cover my keynote speaking or something like that. There are ways that you can actually utilize that by going to Chamber of Conferences, by going to community colleges, local YMCA, boy and girls clubs, things like that, that will give you a lower rate than a high-end toured speaking fee, okay? When you go ahead and utilize a sheet like this to list all of your value, the cost that you have determined that you are worth, the quantity that you know that you need to have sold to meet your projection, then you are able to say, hey, this month I actually did this, And the difference was this. This is where I know I now need to increase because I only sold out of the 20 I needed to sell, I only sold 10. So now you know you need to increase whatever you used at that time, double it so that you can meet your 20. This is why you need to know your numbers. A goal without an end date timeline is just a wish. A goal that you haven't written down is just a dream. Okay, so I hope you guys find value in that. Like I said, I'm going to add a little bit of body here to this one. I'm going to give you access to the spreadsheet so that you can list your own. And I'm also going to give you the image of the profit pipeline so you can actually be able to look back at your notes that you took, look at the worksheet, and make sure that they match up. So I hope you have found value in the information today and why you need to know your numbers, because again, you're not going to get to your goal if you don't write it down and then if you don't activate it, right? So just writing it down is not going to automatically have you reach your goal. There's still work that you have to do. All right. So that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me on Dollar Deals. Martina Britt Yelverton, Brand Master, on day 11 to know your numbers. Tomorrow, we'll be discussing how to create a video course and its content. Now that may change because what I'm finding out, some of you don't even know actually how to do online videos as far as testimonies and small presentations and webinars. We'll get in that later, but just to be able to do things like put up a quick post, I'm still struggling with Reels. I'm not going to lie, but at least I know how to turn my phone around, have it on the correct proportion, whether it's horizontal or vertical portrait or horizontal. I know how to do that enough to make sure that it fits the screen that it needs to fit for the purpose that it needs to fit. And I think you guys might need to know a little bit more about that, especially with etiquette. Okay, especially with etiquette as far as hopping online. So I muted myself while I fussed a little bit at my child, who I texted before I got started to say we are live, and she is in the midst of cleaning her room. So that is an etiquette flaw. All right. But I hope you guys have found value in this content. Today is day 11. Tomorrow we will be discussing day 12, and I will alter this content just a little bit again. My goal is to give you exactly what you need, not specifically just everything I know, but first and foremost, what you need to become successful to simplify your brand and this brand journey so that you can get to the end and catch your coins and walk in your purpose and your plan that was gifted to you. So I'll catch you guys on tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time on today. To your success.